Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am Matt Burns, and with me, as always, he's my dedicated tag team partner for the Burning Truth. He is ready. He's coming in for the hot tag at most times. He's none other than John Below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the great John Law. Although I think we're at that stage in our relationship now where you can call me JB.
Pretty much.
How are you this evening? First of all, people who can answer, Matt Burns, and secondly, the people at large.
Yeah, let's just say, what a week we've had.
Haven't we all? Haven't we ever? Professional wrestling, the sport that never stops.
And weather.
Being newsworthy. Oh, and the weather as well, yeah, but, you know how it is. It's like sort of, they're like buses, wrestling news stories. You get nothing, you get nothing. Oh, here comes six all at once.
Potentially. Or you'll get certain things that will just pop up from out of nowhere and just completely catch you off guard. Oh, and...
look out. Did you duck, or did the RKO catch you? Because you did say out of nowhere you got what was coming to you.
I managed to duck it. I'm out the way. But anyway, point being is...
Axe bomber.
Anyway,
let's move on.
Point being is, we've got to cover a little bit of extra stuff for this week. We've also got an extra disclaimer for this week, potentially, right. Because I believe, with this being done using the power of the internet...
Yes.
And that both of us are in different locations.
As Matt Burns is in the broadcast wing of his Staffordshire mansion, and I am in the dingy spare bedroom of my grotty flat in East Anglia.
Even though I wish I was in a mansion.
Look, we're both in normally sized houses, okay? I just wanted to big it up because, Matt Burns is secretly loaded. He just doesn't like to remind everybody.
I am not loaded.
Yeah, tell that to the police. Anyway, yes,
I'm not loaded. I just run business. I run my wrestling company, and run certain things in a certain way that allows me to help fund them.
He's the opposite Ric Flair. He really is. You know how Ric Flair was famous for earning $200 a night and spending $250? Yeah, Matt Burns is the opposite. Seriously. The guy's so tight for the first UKWA show, he asked me to pay him for the privilege of commentating on it.
I am not Scrooge.
No, you're not. I'm making that up for comedic effect. I just want people to know that, just in case they weren't sure.
I know. But anyway, we digress. We've got to cover this straight away because of the weather and everything, and due to internet connection. If there is any gaps between certain with us, that could be due to the change in certain weather, because I believe where I'm currently at, the weather is a lot cooler than what it has been this week, but it's still a bit muggy. And at yourself?
Where I am, it's likewise. It's hell of a lot cooler than it has been this week, but it's not what I would call cool. But we're on the outer edges of a bloody great thunderstorm. So if that kicks off big style, then, yeah, the connection might dip out a little bit. I might go through a very large tunnel. So if that happens... And
wouldn't that be shocking?
Yes. So if that happens, obviously Mr. Matt Burns will have to finish the show solo. And I apologise in advance if it happens, but let's keep all our fingers and toes crossed and hope it doesn't.
However, if the thunderstorm skips JB and decides to hit my area, that'll be a very immediate short end of the show.
Yes. To which we will, apologise when we're on next week and stuff.
And most likely make it a doubler.
Yeah, probably, to make up for the shortness of this show. But that's only if it happens. So, as I said, keep everything crossed, touch wood, let's hope it doesn't.
But anyway, we digress. We need to get down to our usual, regular, scheduled programming.
And
Would you kindly?
That means I need to do the old introductory warning.
Right, you do.
The following broadcast may contain references to storylines and language not suitable to those of a sensitive disposition, younger viewers, listeners, damn it, and also other listeners. This program may also contain strobe lighting effects.
That's fine. And basically, as my colleague was stating, some of the language may be more colourful than at times.
Than perhaps you would like. So we try to give you warning a couple of minutes before if we're going to get the soapbox out. That's generally a hint that we're about to start ranting and that colourful language may appear, but just have a general overview, a general warning. Those of a sensitive disposition may well want to... what's the American phrase? Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah. That's the best way of putting it. But anyway... That's the one per week. Once per week, is it?
The weekly reminder, yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
We've also got to cover our regular message that we are still pushing and carrying throughout, no matter how long it takes. We are still in support of Black Lives Matter and, of course, speaking out.
Because, lest we forget, they do. And should you need to, you still should have a platform too, respectively.
However...
But only for speaking out if what you've got is something that you feel you can speak out about, but that, is already in the public domain. Don't come to us with accusations that haven't been tested necessarily. Please go to the relevant authorities with them first, because, as much as we want to give you a platform, we don't want us or you to get sued for libel.
Correct.
Or defamation or any of those other nasty things.
And this next bit is probably going to shock JB right now in the fact that I'm having to state this.
Thank God I'm already sat down. Right, go on.
Because on Twitter, we have actually seen certain people using the hashtag speaking out moment instead of for what it was actually intended for.
Shall we say less than whiter than white reasons? As always, it's been hijacked by people who think they can take advantage of it. As sickeningly predictable as that is, it's still not right, but unfortunately it's the case.
Yes, unfortunately certain people have been using it for personal grievances instead of actual...
As in just their own personal issues with one other person that don't really need to be aired in that way because they could just be dealt with between the people. Is that what you mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that do that, unfortunately, but what can we do?
Correct. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Apart from, obviously, just sort of say, yeah, we see you and we are not really approving of what you're doing, so back it in. Without naming any names.
Correct. We're not naming names because... it's not necessary. But anyway.
Just like, as if I was going to say as I take a sip here, today's show, my end, is brought to you by energy drinks. I'm not naming which one, for obvious reasons. We don't have a favourite. We are not paid by any of them. Let's just say I'm drinking one, and you'll have to guess which.
However, if any of them do want to potentially endorse it in the future, we're not against it.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I thought I'd just throw that in just in case
if you want in future weeks Matt Burns to open up the show with "Welcome to the Burning Truth," sponsored by
such and such,
Bilge Energy or whatever. I just had to come up with a word that isn't actually an energy drink, as far as I know. And you want to give us the money to do that? Yeah, we are not averse to being corporate whores for the almighty dollar.
Translation, you just basically said that we can be officially be considered merch sellers.
Yeah, we'll flog your energy drink if you pay us enough. We'll flog anything if you pay us enough, provided...
Whoa!
Provided the service is above board and legal and it can be advertised on a podcast about wrestling.
Or broadcast. I thought I'd just make sure to try and squeeze in then. I'm glad you covered it.
Yes, I was going to do the disclaimer. Don't worry, I wasn't just going to say, yeah, we'll sell anything, Cause
what could go wrong with that?
Apart from potentially everything.
It'd be almost like saying famous last words. But anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Food Network and Jamie Bakes a Sponge. Sorry, for those of you who were expecting the burning truth, they're in jail. Yeah, that's not a future we want. So,
No.
yeah, above board and legal only, please.
But anyway, let's digress. Let's get down to the major topics, and we've got some interesting topics. These are some of the later topics. Basically, we're going to be having to recover Pat McAfee and Adam Cole.
No one cares.
Soapbox. Calling
Yeah.
it now.
Definitely. Make that 2.
Potentially some additional new content being added to the WWE Network.
Ooh, well, definitely, but it's some initial new content and potentially lots more. That's good, but we'll talk about that later as well. Because first...
No, we're not done yet.
Okay,
We're not done yet. We've also got to be talking about the WWE Main Championship feud that's currently going on.
But for
And
both
what
the
our thoughts are.
and the Universal Championship.
And then,
no one cares.
And then we've got the what we're going to classify as epic fail, epic fail moments of wrestling.
Yes.
Or should I say, moments.
Yeah, it's just a little feature that we're going to delve into every week from now on. It's either going to be epic moments or, as hinted at by Matt Burns there, this week, epic fail moments. Either some of the greatest moments or some of the greatest, what were they thinking, moments in wrestling history.
Yeah.
To provide discussion platform for you guys listening.
Yes, and on top of it, what makes it even worse for me is, before we actually came on the air, just as we came onto the air, I suddenly remembered what an additional fail moment, potentially from recently, that was so bad. I am actually looking forward to hearing Jim Cornette's thoughts on it.
Oh, good Lord.
Even though he supposedly doesn't watch this program.
Well, he supposedly doesn't watch a lot, but he still makes comments on it. So,
however, when he does hear about this, oh dear.
5 minutes in, both the guys were sucking air so bad, the first 3 rows passed out from oxygen deprivation. God, I love Jim Cornette when he gets going.
And when he isn't being
When he's
silly.
not being a silly, ill-thought-out, potential person who might get himself in trouble legally.
Yeah. But anyway, down to our first topic, which was not a part of that list. We have got...
It's a sad one.
It is a sad one because it supposedly happened during last week. However, unfortunately, I'm not exactly... I'm just looking into it quickly now myself.
Pretty sure I only found out about it on probably the Tuesday or the Wednesday. Definitely after last week's show, anyway.
Yeah. It was. And unfortunately, we have to basically... Well...
We have to announce another tragic happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had the sad courtesy to state that that unfortunately the wrestling world has lost another
legend.
Yep.
I don't think he's in the WWE Hall of Fame yet, tragically, but he will be now.
No, I don't think he is.
No, not yet, but I'm fairly sure class of 2021 he will be now.
I'll take into account they haven't done the class of 2020 yet.
Oh, did they not? I got so carried away with the fact that WrestleMania actually happened. I didn't realise if they're not inducted this year yet.
No.
Oh, well, maybe he'll be a late addition to that then.
Possibly, or they could be merging 2020 and 2021 into 1 year.
Yes. Marathon double class next year when everything hopefully goes back to normal. Anyway, enough pontificating. We are talking about Kamala.
Real name.
Ugandan Giant.
The Ugandan Giant. Real name, James Arthur Harris.
No. Real name Kamala. Don't ruin it. Are you trying to tell me he wasn't really Ugandan?
I'm not saying that.
Another piece of my childhood smashed to smithereens.
I'm sorry, but...
Everyone in my childhood who was famous, who I idolised, has either been decreed as not very funny or found to be a kiddie fiddler or some filth, and now all my favourite heroes are dying, honestly. Might as well just take a sledgehammer to my childhood. Really can. Sorry, didn't mean to get melancholy there.
Ladies and gentlemen, they were the user of JB and not of the Burning Truth or Matt Burns.
Hey, I didn't mention anyone specific. Okay? We can't get in trouble.
I just thought I'd just cover that just to cover...
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's fine. But yeah, the point is, his real name was... What, sorry? Just once more
James
for the record.
Arthur Harris.
Known professionally as the Ugandan giant Kamala.
Correct.
And I believe, to commemorate the life of a wrestling legend, you have the bell handy.
Bell in hand and ready for the 5 rings. So with that, we are going to pay tribute with the 5 bell salute.
Are we also doing a silence, or is just the salute?
And silence.
Cool.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
And indeed, rest in peace, Kamala.
Rest in peace. And as we state rest in peace to Kamala, we also state commiserations to his family, his friends, his work colleagues, and the second family being the wrestling family.
Indeed. And all of which tragically means that I will have to put on ice all of my jokes about Joe Biden's running mate for the presidential election. Because, yeah, it suddenly seems in very poor taste. So let's leave that right there and simply say rest in peace, Kamala.
Correct. Oh, it's a bit of an unusual one, that one. But anyway, we need to push on.
We do. That was tragic and sad, but we need to carry on with the main bits of the show. The first one of which is what we're doing first. Are we doing the soapbox about TakeOver, the soapbox about SummerSlam, or the good news about the network? Which do you fancy attacking first?
I'm going to see if we can... We're going to have a bad one first. I'm going to go down the TakeOver.
Yeah, okay, I thought you might do that.
Yep.
That's fair enough. We need to mention the forthcoming NXT TakeOver 30, so called because it's the 512th edition of... No, wait. That's it, the 30th edition of NXT TakeOver, the quarterly specials that are NXT's equivalent of pay-per-views.
So that's WrestleMania?
Yes. Well, they're pay-per-views. It's not necessarily their WrestleMania, but yeah, anyway, this one is the 30th, so instead of being called TakeOver wherever it's coming from, Boston, I believe, but correct me if I'm wrong, it is simply referred to as TakeOver 30.
Yes. And, well,
I did think that maybe they were going to, since they've... Oh, no, that's a spoiler for later. I can't make that joke. That's a spoiler for later in the broadcast. I can't make that joke now.
Nope.
Anyway. The thing is, it's shaping up to be the usual spectacular mix of awesome wrestling for the guys who haven't made it to the main roster and had their career ripped out from under them yet, except for one glaring omission.
Yeah.
The air punctuation,
actually,
quote-unquote, main event.
Actually, one of main events. Because I may have to have an additional rant and state something now to JB that from the previous week. I'm gonna have to say he was right.
Someone who's in the main event who I don't give a shit about, and apparently I'm right.
Yeah. On a big way.
Roll. I really, 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 really hate being King Smug of Pricksville, but on this occasion, it feels good to be so. It sometimes gets boring being so right all the time.
They actually put a match on this week's NXT that made me care less, and actually brought less, made them less serious. But anyway,
and bear in mind, this is
we'll
a match featuring Keith Lee, who, frankly, as Keith Lee on his own, as an entity, literally has 76 million rockets strapped to him at the moment and is on a collision course with the centre of the sun because he's so hot.
He may have to pull out a Ric Flair and wrestle a broom.
I think it'd probably be a better match. But anyway, that's not the point right now. We'll get to that in a minute. The first issue we have is the other side of what could potentially be billed as a double main event. And all I've got to say is the two words galloping over the horizon. If they don't kill your interest stone dead, then, frankly, you're not a proper wrestling fan. Do you know what those two words are?
Go on.
Pat McAfee. And the third one, wrestling. Yes, that's right. Not talking about it, actually having a match.
I'll give him credit. He's done some training.
Yes, that's a relief.
No, actual training.
No, well, I would expect nothing less. He's going to be in the ring with an actual wrestler. He would need to have at least spent, 10 hours a day for a week drilling the basics.
I'm going to let you cover the reason why you're not interested in it first.
The reason why I'm not interested in it?
First.
Oh, okay. Well, it's yours, massive and soapbox related and going to take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the main and simple reason why I'm not interested in it is completely undermining everything that WWE have spent the last nearly 3 years working on to establish the Undisputed Era, and in particular their leader, Mr. Adam Cole, as heels who don't care and who run roughshod over everyone and who don't get their feelings hurt because they don't really have any. And all of a sudden, along comes someone who basically was on a football team because he couldn't do any of the other things that comes with American football, or hand egg, as I prefer to call it. So he actually just got brought onto the field every time they needed someone to very violently kick the ball over the posts and then take it off again until they needed him again, because that's all he could do. I believe the American term for that is punter. That's a ticket-buying member of the public in English, but in America, apparently that means someone that kicks an American football over the posts. But anyway, he can't even play American football properly. Now he gets paid to talk about wrestling for a living, and oh look, he's trampling all over everyone who's going to be in the Freudian slip, North American Championship ladder match, and taking the carrot of the biggest opportunity in NXT, the main event, against the record-holding longest reigning champ ever. And I just absolutely know it's going to suck donkey balls. Literally no amount of the other three members of Undisputed Era, or any of anyone else interfering who might be mad enough to interfere on his behalf to try and level the score, is going to save it from being an absolute fustercluck.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might have just noticed something there.
You went very quiet.
Yes.
Have I just said something that you either A, fundamentally and literally on a cellular level disagree with, or wholeheartedly agree with?
Wholeheartedly, and getting more ammunition along the way.
Oh, wow. So you agree, but that's basically just added fuel to your fire.
Pretty much.
Right, my turn to shut up then. Why do you think it's a waste of time? Fire away, Matt Burns. I'm all ears.
Right. My idea of this is the fact that Adam Cole is the top heel in NXT. Correct? Me if I'm wrong. So they then bring in Pat McAfee, who's insulting him, stating he's a small guy, which is heelish on part of Pat McAfee, and you can turn around and say that Adam Cole was a bit heelish for striking out, but anyone who's being called small is going to lash out at somebody, which is not really a heelish thing, even though I've heard certain people say, but that is a heelish thing. He shot first. And someone's actually attacking your integrity and diminishing you on your side, you're going to stand up and defend yourself.
Really not heelish to stand up and go, actually, you dick. No, that's not true. That's defending yourself. That's like the basic decent thing to do.
Right? So potentially, I'm pausing for a moment and going, are they actually considering turning Adam Cole face?
Well, if you bear in mind, as context, he's just been punted in the face by a commentator.
Yeah.
Wait. Yes.
I was about to get to that. Right. So then you've got UE, Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
I'm going to clarify now, Undisputed Era, against the NXT Tag Team Champions, Imperium, and something happens between Adam Cole and Pat McAfee that costs, Undisputed Era the match. So it's looking more like they're going to be turning good guy. Ooh, this is getting interesting.
This is interesting because, lest we forget, in his independent days, Adam Cole started out as a good guy and footage out from the US independent scene from about 10 years ago, was bloody good at it.
It was in ROH. But anyway, I digress. Because then they actually have Pat McAfee calling him little small smurf and everything, and then turns around and says to him, he's nothing but a whiny little bitch, and that he's not going to amount to anything. For then Adam Cole being restrained by other people, while he's being restrained, Pat decides to take a punch at his head and knock him out. Which we covered last week. Which is, Pat McAfee being heelish and Adam Cole being a good guy, potentially, looking like he's about to be a good guy. And what did he do this week? Good Lord.
Let me guess. They've gone up to the 10th floor of the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and from there, pissed all over the idea.
I think they actually threw it off I think they threw it over the balcony, like how a certain person did to Mysterio and
is going to sue them for copying.
Yeah.
Unlike Rey Mysterio, however,
and Aleister Black.
Yeah, unlike Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black, however, I think the fall was fatal for this whole storyline.
Yeah, because then there was a match happening during NXT this week, which was Killian Dane against Drake Maverick.
Yeah, okay. So far, so potentially one-sided, but still entertaining nonetheless.
Right, they're bringing up, Drake Maverick's putting everything in, he's fighting his heart out, to then have Undisputed Era come down and absolutely decimate Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. More so, Drake Maverick.
Yeah, by the way, Killian Dane, who we're not entirely sure which side of the fence he sits on at the moment because of his, the way he was acting towards Robert Stone suggests face. Beating up Drake Maverick suggests big bastard heel. We're not 100% sure which way he goes, but either way, 4-on-1 or 4-on-2 Undisputed Era beatdowns, heelish thing to do. There's no other way to paint it.
And then having them cut a promo that states, we are taking over NXT and putting the entire NXT roster on notice, and Pat McAfee is going to be getting his head ripped off, clean slate, you're done, I am not messing with you. Understand you are going up against the longest reigning NXT champion in a massive rant, which some could say, well, that's a Darth Stacey thing. No, it's not. He's actually being a twat, which is a heel thing.
He's being Adam Hurst Helmsley.
Right? What makes it even worse is the fact that if it was done that way, he should have just come out and just cut the promo separately without attacking anybody, saying, you need to understand who you're up against if you're going to turn your face. So the question is who's the damn face and who's the villain?
Unfortunately, as pertinent as that point is, I'm quite sure 95% of the viewing public will have the unfortunate and not the response WWE were looking for response of, no one cares.
Right? We've then got to turn around and state, in regards to it, right, Pat McAfee doing a video footage of saying he wants to do it properly and actually go, let's just do it.
Eh?
And showing that he's actually learning to wrestle.
Yeah, lovely, wonderful. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologise. However, I do have the feeling that if I just walked into the WWE booking meeting and let that rip, it would have made more sense than whoever planned this farce of an angle.
So, what makes it worse is, 1 week they're portraying Adam Cole's face, then heel, then 1 week Pat McAfee for heel, then fucking face! Wow!
Who's what? Give us a reason to A, know and B, care, and C, why is this the main event? Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Well,
It's literally, which side, it's almost like, let's just flip it, let's go this way. No, let's go that way. This way. Oh my god, I just realised why.
yeah.
I just realised why.
Oh, hang on, the penny's just dropped. You mean, go on, please enlighten me because I haven't got a bloody clue.
Is Vince McMahon in charge of NXT now?
Of course he is. Have you not noticed why they're pushing that useless guy who's vaguely got themes of The Undertaker about his character?
No, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get that in a minute.
And why nonsensical bullshit like this is top of the card? Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah. And then, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Now, you think that was the only issue where we didn't know who's face and who's heel? We've then got we then have a return on NXT, The Dream come back to try and get into the North American Championship to then lose that match.
Yeah.
And then viciously turn heel and start attacking. Now, for the last, because there's an extra spot because Dexter Lumis is now injured. Because Dream wasn't pinned, he actually has an extra chance of getting in. And do you know who he has to beat to get into that match?
No, go on.
Finn Balor.
Who also, by the way, got pinned and therefore...
No, he didn't get pinned. He wasn't pinned. Now, here's a question for you.
Okay, he was in a match and he did not qualify. I thought he was the one that the decision went against.
No. He wasn't pinned.
Who was he? Hang on, he was in a match with Johnny Gargano and...
I believe...
I can't remember.
Danny Burch's tag team partner.
Only Lorcan?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
And only Lorcan took the pinfall.
No, hang on. Johnny Gargano is somehow in the match, however. What's going on?
Yeah, Gargano's in the match because he won his singles match.
Oh, okay.
Random.
Yeah.
Don't
clusterfuck once again springs to mind.
It's hurting me head. So now we've now got a recent returning Dream who's a heel against the Finn Balor who is also a
Finn Balor who is a heel or a face depending on which
week
man gets out on in the morning.
So
yeah, again, it's just making your head hurt. It's like, no, this is supposed to be a ladder match that showcases the talents of 5 new people, and one of them gets the United States... Got to stop doing that. North American Championship. And it's all great, and now you've just literally poured a bucket of red-hot shit over it, and now no one cares because no one knows what the hell is going on. Well done, Vince.
This is my point. They keep flip-flopping and flying.
Yeah, it's
over their decisions.
One of the reasons why I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown.
It makes it even worse. It makes it even worse. This rant that I'm actually on is actually been affecting the damn main roster, which I will be covering later.
Oh yeah, there's a similar situation with the main roster for SummerSlam.
On SmackDown.
SummerSlam, which should literally, the pay-per-view itself should be rechristened. No one cares. You know, if it was the horror show at Extreme Rules, the subtitle for this one should be "No one cares" at SummerSlam.
I'm actually looking forward to rewatching the horror show.
What, after SummerSlam and realising that as bad as you thought it was, it's really not awfully bad at all?
I've actually lost that much interest in the build-up to SummerSlam. I'm actually considering just watching the horror show.
Well, put it this way, while SummerSlam is on, I think I will be making use of the WWE Network to watch some old Progress chapters.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Later.
So basically, you can tell that the liberal shovel full of fresh, hot donkey manure that is the Vince McMahon touch has been liberally dosed across NXT, and it's a million times worse as a result.
And now we've got to get to the NXT Championship main event match. No issues with Keith Lee whatsoever.
Baskin
right for the match.
For he is limitless. Best thing that's happened to NXT in a while. They gave him the ball. He ran with it. He is every bit as good as they're letting him be. He's awesome. No issue with him from me here.
Pretty much.
However, last week, I had a fair bit to say about his opponent. Turns out, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Mystic JB over here, I was bloody right.
Not only were you mystic, you actually almost proved the point.
Yeah.
In the fact that, when you mentioned the fact that Danny Burch got attacked, that he could potentially lay in some shots onto Karrion Kross.
Yep.
And do a good job of it. Who was Karrion Kross up against this week?
Oh, do you know what? It's on the tip of my tongue. Remind me.
Danny Burch.
Yeah.
And when I saw that match, I actually thought, they're going to squash Danny Burch.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
No, it wasn't a squash. At one point, Danny Burch was actually getting some good effects to the point he was actually knocking down Karrion Kross.
Yeah. All of which, can I just say, as an aside, must have royally, have I said royally enough yet? Royally pissed off Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, pretty much. And then what makes it worse is, no. He was actually having the moves done to him and then slowly getting up going, yes, I want more, yes. And just looked... How do I say this without sounding politically incorrect?
He looked demented.
No.
Possessed?
No.
Like he was enjoying it?
No.
Okay, I give up. What did he look like?
Lads won and nobody's home, and it's like, ugh. I'm getting up because I want to get up. It's like, and I'm like, it's almost like, you've just been bounced on your head. Why would he get up? You have heard of the thing called selling.
Oh, you mean it's kind of like, yes. It's kind of like that close contender for this week's What the Hell moment that we're going to close the show with, when the Ultimate Warrior basically just flat out no-sold the pedigree, like someone had just walked up to him and tapped him on the head like, good boy, dog.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
But one thing that as well as underlining the fact that Danny Burch is a bit of a mental case, something we've known a while, it also made the lumbering bald idiot look like a lumbering bald idiot.
Yeah, and what makes it even worse is the fact that Danny Burch is just German suplexing him. He gets up, to get German suplex again.
Yeah.
You gotta go,
No, that's what I said. Danny Burch is a...
No, think about that. He's been German suplexed, to then get back up, scream out, yes, he wants more, to get German suplexed again.
Yeah, I know.
Almost in the exact same way.
Yeah. Well, no, fair play to him for reacting the same. I mean, but I know what you're saying.
No, but what I'm saying is, he didn't learn from his first mistake.
Well, hey, Danny Burch, I did say he was as tough as nails. I never said he was the sharpest knife in the rack.
No, I'm not saying that Danny Burch was the issue. I'm saying Karrion Kross has taken the German suplex twice in the exact same way, almost falling into the same trap twice.
Hang on. I've got this completely arse about face. Danny Burch is suplexing Karrion Kross.
Yes!
Because I thought it was the other way round.
No!
Oh, holy mother of God. That makes it even worse.
No, you just got what I mean.
Yeah, now I fully... the penny... That was the penny dropping, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So as you can imagine, I'm just there thinking to myself, what the hell?
Yeah.
Danny Burch getting the signal, to job out now. End of match. He's Carrion's taking too many bumps. We need to finish this now. To save face.
Yeah. You've made him take more bumps in 3 minutes than he has in the last 3 months. Abort.
I think he actually bumped more. For Danny Burch than he did than Dijakovic.
Yeah, who's twice Burch's size.
And Tommaso Ciampa combined.
Yeah, well, literally, that's what I'm saying. Tommaso Ciampa must be sitting at home thinking very dark thoughts right now.
And Dominic Dijakovic's probably sitting there thinking to himself, did he just get... What the hell's going on?
Yeah. But it turns out I was right. Karrion Kross is not worth it, and he's rubbish, and he'll sink without trace.
And what makes it worse is, before this match happened, to make him look like a serious threat, they literally had Keith Lee declare that, he's got the match booked. He signed it. Regal signed it. All that needs to be signed now is Karrion Kross's name.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross signs the contract. Right. For Scarlett to return the contract, kiss it before passing it over, slides it in the ring, for then Keith Lee open up to check the signature for a fireball come from the contract. Supposedly blinding Keith Lee and Karrion Kross walking off. Which would have been absolutely fine if he didn't have a match later on in the night.
For which his sight had been magically restored.
No, I actually meant Karrion Kross, not Keith Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that makes precious little sense, but then nor does anything to do with that.
So basically, they literally gone, he looks like a serious threat now, so then going up against Danny Burch and going, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah. Hello, serious threat. We're going to get £180 of Cockney hard nut to undo 3 months of careful planning. In about 3 minutes flat.
I was actually hoping for it to turn out that Keith Lee turns up and Danny Burch get the win.
I would really have liked that. And let's face it, given the state of current WWE and NXT booking, I wouldn't have been massively surprised.
And Nigel put Burch completely over it, massively.
Yeah. Well, that's... yeah, so that's why TakeOver is ruined. But now we need to take a deep breath, but don't put the soapbox away, because we've now got to discuss why SummerSlam is ruined.
Oh, we're getting the worst out.
Yeah, we might as well get it done. Why SummerSlam is ruined. Because I've got to be honest, from a personal standpoint, I've always thought SummerSlam was the weakest of the traditional Big Four pay-per-views. To anyone under the age of 25, they won't have a concept of why they're the Big Four, but it's because the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and Survivor Series are the oldest shows. The ones that they first did when they only had 4 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that the gimmicks that surround the other ones, the Royal Rumble match, my favourite match in WWE, even though they try their best to ruin that on an annual basis just recently. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania, the showcase of the Immortals, kind of the night of the year, and Survivor Series with its survival, tag matches, they all have gimmicks. SummerSlam's just like, shit, it's the big show in the summer, just throw some shit and see what sticks. There's no gimmick, there's no reason for it. It's always been the weakest of the Big Four for me to start with. And, this year is spectacularly undermining my point of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Is it not, Mr. Burns?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because it's a fairly weak card anyway, but I believe I must give out the warning, potentially strong language ahoy, and...
No, not potentially.
Lots of very strong language, guaranteed. So those of a sensitive disposition may want to tune out for the next 5 minutes. Matt Burns, Soapbox Ahoy, because...
You want me to fit it in 10 minutes? You want me to fit it in 5 minutes?
I just said that as a rough guide. It depends how long it takes. But anyway, the point is, it's both the world and Universal title pictures, isn't it?
Oh, and women's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Nightmare. So what I'm going to say is...
Yeah.
I need disappear for a minute.
Right, straight away.
Basically,
Let's just.
I need a bathroom break. So, do you want to film for a minute, or do you want to start ranting? Because I've no doubt you'll still be going when I get back.
Ladies and gentlemen, which actually, I'll let you play the roulette moment right now. Which championship shall I get? Shall I head down? Shall I head down
Right.
the men's main championship or the women's side?
I think we should start with the one that you have the least rage about and build up to a climax of apocalyptic what the fuckness by doing the most ragey one last.
Slight problem.
So I assume that means the women's title first, but I'm not guaranteeing that.
That's probably, you are probably right, but I haven't decided on which one's going to be the most apocalyptic one because it's going to make, because let's say this, I may need to get some blood pressure tablets after.
Well, okay, in that case, have you got a coin handy? Just heads women, tails men, flip it.
No, I'm going to go with the women's one straight off the bat because, ladies and gentlemen, this is how they're actually covering the actual championship because they've actually got Asuka versus, I believe, Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh, no, think about that. What did I just say there?
Yeah, you just said a Raw superstar against the SmackDown Women's Champion.
And who is Sasha against at SummerSlam?
Let me see. Someone else that isn't on the card that has not got enough exposure.
No. That is...
yeah, that's it. Asuka.
Yeah. I know you're thinking, how does that happen? How does that happen?
No, what I'm actually thinking is why has that happened, but how is a close second? Yes.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say this. We already know that, Asuka's already got her championship match against, Sasha, automatically, potentially be a match clause, or not really, but then somehow managed to get in one contendership anyway, but then somehow managed to squeeze herself into the SmackDown side because a Battle Royal was determined on SmackDown this week, and Asuka wasn't even meant to be there, just SmackDown roster, but somehow managed to invade the show, throwing over all the SmackDown wrestlers over the top rope, and then saying, "I'm declaring," and then it's like, "Yeah, you are going to be the number one contender," or so we think. And I'm like,
brain fade.
because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, so how is Asuka now fighting for both damn championships, and how is that fair?
Well, it isn't, but then when has fair or logical been a factor of recent WWE booking? Honestly.
And are you ready for this?
Go on.
I actually have a way they can save it.
Really?
Yes.
You mean salvageable?
Yes.
This I have got to hear. Do go on.
If they actually do what I'm suggesting, notice the word I just said.
Yes, if they do, checks made payable to the Burning Truth. Thanks, Mr. McMahon.
Right, because officially they're going to be singles matches. Why is Asuka having to fight both of them? So potentially we could have one wrestler becoming the next.
Potentially we could have old Asuka 2 titles.
Even though the rumour was that it was meant to be supposedly be Sasha Banks who's meant to be doing it.
Yeah.
You ready for this one? How do we do it? How do we save it? How about this? How about instead of it being two single matches, why don't we just merge it and make it a damn triple threat for both belts?
Winner takes all.
Where have we heard that before?
That would be convenient, yeah.
Because I know what you're thinking, but didn't they do that for WrestleMania? And that is how Becky won the championship. Yes, but understand this: what a great way to then actually get Sasha Banks be able to claim Bayley's championship at the same time. Because either way, if that happens, both of them are going to fall out with each other, aren't they?
Yes, quite clearly.
Because that's going to put a massive rift in between them.
Just a little bit.
And bring up the hype.
And then Asuka and Kairi Sane can claim the women's tag team. Oh, shit, no.
No!
Logic fail. Killed by reality.
Right? But the point being is, straight away there, that is a presentable way to get into the Bayley versus Sasha feud in one
That
hit!
everyone's been begging for about 3 years.
And it'll make sense!
Yes, absolutely. That, of course, however, is not what they're actually doing, because that's logical and sensible and everything.
Pretty much.
What can you do?
And it's just making me just go...
Sorry?
It's just making me go, really?
Sigh of apathy. And the worst part is...
Yeah.
That quite possibly is the lesser of two evils. 3 evils.
That is.
Because there's still both men's championships to decide.
Yep.
Won't that be fun?
And don't even get me started on the Dominic versus Seth match. Which is
my god, no.
And there's a street fight now.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Even though Dominic Mysterio did take some blast from McKenna repeatedly from 2 guys.
Yeah. It's a street fight. You know, that's just an excuse for...
Bring out the weapons!
It's just an excuse for A, bring out the weapons. B, bring out, don't call him Buddy Murphy. C, bring out, oh look, my eye's fine, forget anything ever happened, Rey Mysterio. And C, as many shortcuts as possible to hide the fact that, sorry, but Dominic ain't ready yet.
Even though he has actually been showing quite some talent in hitting some of Mysterio's moves. Recently.
Well, no, that's a relief. But the question is, great talent in using some of Ray's moves, fine. Can he string a whole match together?
And
I hope so, but I doubt it.
There has actually been some footage of him actually wrestling, which has been quite interesting.
Oh, is he showing more potential talent than I've given him credit for?
Yeah.
Well, that's all right then. All I can say
that match,
is...
I'm actually fine with.
No. Now that you've told me that should probably be the main event, because it's the one that's got the least bullshit hanging off it.
It's actually the one that I actually care most about.
And that's not something I ever thought I'd say when they announced it.
I actually care for that match. Yeah. Because it looks like a legitimate, interesting match. But anyway, we digress.
Okay. I know it's a live broadcast and all, but...
Just get you off, just do what you need to do, and I'm just going to cover the Raw Championship now.
Yeah. Just start the Raw Championship. Like I said, by the time you've finished, I'll be back. You've barely scratched the surface.
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the rumour corner is that we've been suspecting is to be true, that Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre is happening at SummerSlam. Right, now the problem with this is, this could potentially mean, ready for this? Which direction are we going? Is Drew going to be keeping the championship? Is Randy Orton going to be taking the championship? Rumour corner states that Randy Orton is going to be taking the championship to then supposedly go to WrestleMania with it and face Edge at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, for then Edge to win the WWE Championship to get his final moment. Now, straight away there, what does that in... So straight away, that says Edge gets another run, but then how the hell do we actually get it back to... You know, because Orton's taking the championship off Drew, who is, at the moment, on a hot streak and doing really well and standing up for everything right and doing a great way to put over the championship in such a glorious way that he's going to be stumbled by Randy Orton, someone who's already won the championship multiple times, to then have it lead into a match against Edge, who's going to be considered a part-timer, who's just coming back from another injury to then come back and have him take the championship.
Yeah, Edge is going to win one more title. Yeah,
one more title. Which, I'm fine with that, but the problem is, who's just been crapped on from a great height?
Literally everyone that isn't Edge and Randy Orton in this scenario. Hi, by the way, I'm back.
Drew's being absolutely crapped on because then supposedly the reason why they're going to take the championship off him is to then get the championship back on him when they're back in, back in
at
on
WrestleMania.
No. The WrestleMania match could be Edge versus Orton. So straight away, rumour has it that Drew could be getting the championship back when we actually return to crowds being back, which we don't have any idea. So straight away, but by that time, probably Vince has gone, he's not my flavour of the month this week. Basically, do what he's been doing on the mid-card roster, just to name a few, Ricochet, Aleister Black,
Well, as in, he's amazing. He's amazing. Put him on TV. I'm bored of him now. Who's next?
Yeah, but doing it on the main event like Drew.
Yeah, it's basically a repeat of when Randy Orton came along and went, yeah, okay, Bray Wyatt, you've been champion now. I'm just going to randomly beat you for no reason and relegate you back to the mid-card for the next 4 years. You remember the first time Wyatt was champion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another example of that.
Which we'll actually get on to Wyatt in a minute.
Sorry?
We'll actually lead that into Wyatt in a minute.
Yeah.
Right, because straight
I mean,
away,
this one doesn't involve Bray Wyatt, but the Randy Orton was the other half of that equation, and it looks like he's going to do the same again to Drew McIntyre.
And I think Drew has got the potential of having something epic. Having him lose to Orton doesn't do anything.
What does anyone gain from Orton? Or, no offense, yeah, nostalgia run like The Rock, another short title run, that's fine, like Goldberg, whatever. But what? Neither of them, Orton or Edge, need another championship shot.
Correct. And what makes it even more damaging is, who has Drew beaten to defend it?
People.
Who?
Zolf Diggler.
Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah. Someone else. I know there's others, but you put
Lashley?
Yeah.
Big Show.
People who are pretty strong to overcome.
Wait. And that's it.
Yes.
That's it. And Big Show's was a messing, was supposedly, immediately after he just beat Brock Lesnar for it.
Yes.
Way to bury Big Show. And to then have him beat Dolph Ziggler. Oh, actually, Lashley first, then Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
To then immediately lose to Orton.
Yeah, I know.
What am I missing here?
Logic, common sense, reason.
Especially seeing as Drew looked like he legit beat the Beast Incarnate, who had been decimating the entire roster, including Randy fucking Orton.
Yeah, the lack of logic is breathtaking here, but this is WWE. Why are we surprised?
It's just disheartening for the fact that when let's make a star. I changed mine. Let's not make a star. And you want to know why WWE is in the crapper when they're actually just about to, they're making a fundamental star, and before he gets his big moments, to be an absolute, he is a champion. Yes, when the champion does say you're at the upper level, but it doesn't say you're a top star.
No, not when the rug is pulled out from under you almost immediately and you kick back to the mid-card and you're expected to just be like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to tread water here for the rest of my career. Isn't that right, Kevin Owens?
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Anybody else you can think of?
I'm just trying to think now that I've said that. The Miz, perhaps?
I'd say Kane in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, definitely.
Andre the Giant?
Absolutely.
In case if anybody wants to know why we're taking that of Andre, because how long did he hold the championship for?
Oh, not even as long as Kane. I mean, Kane's was like 18 hours. What was Andre's? 18 minutes?
Probably, if that.
Yeah. Terrible, terrible.
My point being is, with it, I just seem to just look at it and just think, really?
Oh, no one cares. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? It's just such a suspension of disbelief and interest and willingness to watch and invest my time in it. Killer.
I actually have more interest in the fact that I actually have more interest right now than the main championship in regards to the 24 championship. I have more interest in the 24 championship than the main ones right now.
Yeah, that's how bad it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, yes, you might have just picked up on one thing. I've only just mentioned the Raw one.
Yeah, we haven't even got close to covering the larger of the three clusterfucks. That is the SmackDown Universal Championship. Because, believe it or not, yeah, as bad as everything Matt Burns has just soapboxed himself to nearly to a bloody coronary about in the last 10 minutes, SmackDown side of things is worse.
Yeah, much worse.
Much worse.
Where do I begin?
Where, indeed, which part of this nest of crap which strand of shit do we pick out first?
I'm going to just hit it out from the get-go. Basically, Bray Wyatt, being all villainous, drowned Braun Strowman in the swamp. Let that sink in for a moment. So basically, their Universal Champion's been drowned in a non-championship match. But then he turned around and supposedly made a claim that after the match, either he would be coming out, one less Bray, or coming out the most evil monster that the world's ever seen. To then have Bray Wyatt play mind games on Braun Strowman by viciously attacking Alexa Bliss by having, mandible claw in her 1 week. Second week, him going for mandible claw referred to sign him off to then Braun Strowman do a promo. I'm coming for you, Bray, with a deep voice. Right, on the screen, which came across more, what the hell? To then have Alexa Bliss state on a interview moment on this week's SmackDown and say, what was it like being captured by, Bray Wyatt, blah, blah, blah. What is your, he seems to be, basically stating that he's been, he's, how do I say this? Not intimidating, intriguing was the word she used.
Yeah.
Basically, right, okay. So then, as that is happening, stating that, she cares for Braun Strowman, showing that she has been a face. Take that into account, ladies and gentlemen. Alexa Bliss, an actual face, which was absolutely amazing. I couldn't, years ago, would never have thought me saying that would actually be two words I'd never be stating. Bliss face.
But then again, Tommaso Ciampa got over as a face. Anything is possible, I guess.
Alexa Bliss, the Queen of Mean.
Tommaso Ciampa, the Sicilian psychopath, the psycho killer, fan favourite. Yeah, it's about on a par.
Right, but anyway, the point being is, the fact is, normally, the reason why I state Alexa Bliss not as a face, because supposedly she enjoyed being heel more. Now, with this face run at the moment, she looks like she's genuinely enjoying it more, and is actually enjoying it to get with the fans behind it. And you can see she's enjoying it in how she's reacting on the show. She looks like she's enjoying her work.
Yeah.
Right? To then have her, have Braun Strowman come down with a bald head and larger beard, stating he no longer cares for anybody. He doesn't care about Alexa Bliss. He doesn't care about anyone. He is the monster. He wants to destroy Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? What's wrong with that picture right there?
You mean, are you going to state the obvious, or
just state the obvious, please? Please do.
No. I feel I should let you. I mean, it seems odd of me to steal your thunder. Just
no. It's not stealing my thunder. I'm actually telling you to do it because I want to keep my blood pressure down to a minimum if I can.
No, that's fine. You're this close to massive embolism. Just go with it.
Right, because the fact is, who is meant to be the goddamn face?
Again, it's like Adam Cole NXT syndrome. Who's the face? Well, in
Right.
theory, it's
so
Braun
then-
Strowman. But yeah, everything that you're seeing on your screen kind of...
Right.
Really?
So then Alexa Bliss walks out when Bray Wyatt's been called out. Alexa Bliss turning around stating, if blah blah blah, seeing as you're out here, we need, and I know you wanting to do it, and the fact that you turn around and state you don't care about me, we need to talk about our friendship. And it looked like Alexa Bliss could be putting things back on track. Could she be putting it back on track? Is she going to work? So then Braun Strowman say he doesn't care and literally then left it up looking like he's about to throw her out the ring. Now, does that scream face to you?
Not overly, I've got to be honest.
Right, just as he's about to do it, the lights, dung, dung, Bray Wyatt appears.
But
And
of course he does.
And Alexa's safe in the ring looking like she's gasping for air with the red light. Where's Braun Strowman gone? Oh, he's back on the screen. Menacing looking. And laughing!
Yes.
What's wrong with the picture?
Very heelish. Wait, hang on. No, that's not right.
Wait. Which one's heelish and which one's face?
Exactly.
No, which one's doing the face action and which one's doing the heel action? Catch it away?
Yeah, it's mind-meltingly, unbearably shit, isn't it?
Right. And what makes it even more mind-numbing, you've got Braun Strowman being the absolute monster and villain, and Bray Wyatt coming out making the save. What the actual literal...
Yes, okay,
fuck?
He said he wanted to bring the monster out in Braun Strowman, but no need to take it quite so literally. You're supposed to be the face, you great suddenly bald lump of nutter.
And I am that pissed off with it. And what makes it even more worse, I may actually have a way for them to get out of it.
I figured you might. Okay, go on. What is it? Please tell me, because anything has got to be better than what they're
I will actually offer WWE this for fucking free.
Oh, okay. Well, since you've given them the other idea as well, if they take up either of them, checks made payable to the Burning Truth, please. Thank you.
But this one is free. This idea is free. I'm giving that now.
What? It's that obvious?
Oh no! It's. I want this this idea to happen.
Okay, go on. I'm intrigued even more now. I mean,
the only way I can think they can actually fix it in a horrific way, and somehow to their WWE logic, is somehow to make out that the reason why Braun's acting like a heel and Bray's acting like a face is they switched minds.
Sorry, what? Cheap sci-fi program trick?
Yes, basically, Braun is now in Bray, and Bray's in fucking Braun. Somehow.
That would actually make more sense than most of what we've spent most of the last hour discussing. That's how batshit crazy most of current WWE booking is.
When you're having to pull out a sci-fi answer to make
sci-fi B-movie plotline to make everything make sense. Yeah, this is a sign of just how much I'm not looking forward to either show next weekend.
Pretty much.
Right, we need to get on
because
we've still got something to talk about, which is positive, and then we need to do the stupid nonsense booking thing. And we've been talking for ages already because everything has been so mind-numbingly, what the actual fuck are the writers on? Crazy. Boy, have we talked about it a lot.
Yes, I know.
Are we on a line under the madness of the following weekend?
Just take into account that I'm actually stating that they need to imply that Braun Strowman is now Bray Wyatt in Braun Strowman's body.
A body swap with Bray Wyatt.
No, a mind swap.
Well, yeah.
Somehow, because Bray Wyatt's that supernatural.
Yeah.
Which
goes... emphasising that element of his personality wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. Oh, yeah, wow, it's just...
But why the hell hasn't Bray Wyatt just spoken and said, I'm Braun Strowman, really? Instead, just shoving his fingers down Alexa Bliss's throat.
Yes.
And what makes it even weirder?
Go on.
The fact that the rumour corner has predicted that Alexa Bliss may be having a wedding marriage to Bray Wyatt.
Is this the same rumour corner that thinks that absolute punt from out of nowhere might win the title?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be trusted. Or hopefully to be just like, are you having a laugh? No, go away. Stop putting these ideas in Vince's head. You know he'll only do them.
Yeah. So straight away, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why? Why?
And that is something that, in case you're wondering why the silence, I have no good answer for, because I'm largely thinking exactly the same thing.
So they've somehow done a double turn in the worst possible fucking way.
Haven't they just?
But they're actually trying to get us to go, oh, and at the same time, somehow, while this is all happening, Retribution is somehow taking over SmackDown from time to time, beating up the roster and getting one advantage on the roster. Somehow, the roster is getting beat up each week and not branding together somehow. Now, if a roster was getting beat up each week by some unknown assailants, don't you think they'd actually just turn around and just go, fuck this, let's band together, get rid of them, and then we can fight each other?
You would think so, wouldn't you? But that's like sensible and logical, so quite clearly that's why that's not happening. Because it appears that the only prerequisite for any storyline in WWE or NXT at the moment is, right, what's batshit crazy? Right, let's turn it up to 11 and run with it.
And you know it's insane when Shorty G's turned heel and sided with King Corbin.
What?
Yeah.
You dropped that bombshell out of the blue, didn't you?
Oh, this happened a few weeks ago. But it was that non-essential. I just didn't care. Or even notice it until this week.
Like, that should be like SmackDown main event news.
Wait. And how did he turn? By attacking? Bro. On behalf of... Riddle. But then, wait, I haven't finished. But then this week, who was Chad Gable in the match against?
Matt Riddle.
Fucking Sheamus!
What? I'm sorry, I struggled to form a coherent
thought. Who was he being a heel?
I had to press my headphones against my ears to stop my brain dribbling out of them. What are the bookers on? I'd say I want some, but I think it might actually just turn me into a
I don't want to be anywhere new, because I'm wondering whether the hell they're on. Is it causing brain damage somehow?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I do want
brain
some
damage.
It might turn me into a dribbling cabbage in a chair. It might actually do for me for good. It's frightening. It's absolutely frightening.
This is what I'm on about. And you won't know why the ratings are going through the floor.
It kind of reminds me of NASCAR a little bit. NASCAR, you know that American stock car oval racing series? Where they keep moaning about the decline in ratings, and then every year they come up with a new way to make the racing more tacky and more gimmicky and put more hurdles in the way of the championship and just take it further and further away from the idea of we hold 36 races. After 36 races, the person who wins the most races and has the most points is the champion. Because first they introduced the chase, and then they turned it into the playoffs, and then they added more hurdles to the playoffs, and then they made it more stipulations, and then only the 4 that qualify for the last round in the final race can win the championship in the last race. And then they split the race into stages, and then they have this thing where you have to pick a lane when they do restarts. So rather than just lining up in double file and you get the lane based on your position, you can choose which side you want to go. So you might end up with 30 cars on one side of the track and 3 on the other. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. I actually understood that more than the WWE main roster booking. They are adding non-stop stipulations that ruin the racing spectacle for the sake of entertainment, and every mainstream fan is crying out, going, "Can we just have a green flag, some racing, and then a checkered flag, please?" But even that pales into its significance compared to WWE at the moment. It's a good analogy.
Yeah, it is. I'm just going to give one piece of advice to the WWE right now.
What?
Follow the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Simple. Wait, hang on, no.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I know. I was just messing.
Right.
Also, the not very good acronym DLVB TS.
Go on.
Don't let Vince book this shit. Pension off Vince. POV. That's a good acronym.
Yeah. It's just mind-numbing how they're doing it.
It really is. And unfortunately, have we got time for anything else? Because we have been going off at the deep end for quite some considerable time.
Yeah, we have. We've been over an hour and 15, and we'll have to cover these next two subjects fairly quickly. So quickly, let's just mention some good news, shall we? Because every putrid, brown, shit-stained cloud of God knows what the hell is going on has a silver lining. And in this occasion, the brief silver lining is the WWE Network now features initial content, which will expand over time, from, I believe there are 4, but there may be more in future, non-WWE promotions. Yes.
Named Evolve.
Yep.
Which is an American/British indie promotion that I think runs in both countries. American, run by Gabe Sapolsky, I think.
Yep.
Scotland's own ICW.
No, formerly Gabe. Gabe.
Formerly, fair enough.
I think.
I'm not sure. We'll look into that and we'll tell you that for sure next week. Anyway, Scotland's ICW.
Yay!
Awesome, great. Seen one of their shows live. Whew, geez, wow.
Not
in a hurry. England.
And to make it more, even more better, the ICW one I saw, the main event, Grado versus Drew Galloway.
Yes.
For the ICW Heavyweight Championship.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we've got America's Evolve, Scotland's ICW, England's Progress Wrestling.
Yep.
And Germany's WXW.
Yes.
That's quite an impressive roster of some of the best wrestling companies in the world who've had all of their best stars cherry-picked for NXT and NXT UK, but soldier on anyway. I mean, up-and-coming wrestling talent.
But it's a great way to showcase some of the talent in them promotions as well.
NXT UK in their previous career phase, exactly, yes.
It's amazing, the fact of how they're doing it. It's just great, because we're getting to see more people on there than we could ever expect. It's showing up new matches, and anybody who isn't known for the independents can actually see these great matches.
Absolutely. And can I just say, seriously, if you are a wrestling fan and you generally tend to be a bit WWE centric, then these are 4 promotions that, in order for you to die a happy and complete wrestling fan, basically ticking off seeing a show from each of these 4 is basically 4 things off your bucket list. 4 things that you cannot get to the stage where you are on your deathbed without having done.
Yep. Could not have said that better myself.
Best independent promotions in the world.
Could not have said that better myself.
So that's some positive news. So when you finish listening to us tonight, because the pay-per-view is next week, not later tonight, can I recommend, if it's on there, I think there's a women's tournament from WXW.
Yep.
Amongst the stuff that's initially on there.
Yep.
Get that watched, because you won't regret it.
Damn right.
That is the Burning Truth recommendation of the current crop. And that's some good news, isn't it? Yeah, some more content for your money.
Yeah.
And hopefully more promotions and content to follow.
Correct. And ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to go on to the last subject, which is the epic fail of wrestling moments. As I'm
Wrestling.
dubbing it,
Most epic fails.
Epic fails of wrestling moments.
Yes. As if we haven't had enough of that, talking about what's
in a
happen.
good way.
This is more sort of a comedy interlude. It's not something like scratch your head, what were they thinking, tragic. I mean, it is, but it's a sort of you didn't think what we said, did you? Kind of moment, you know.
Yeah, it's more of a let's check out the last side of wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's example being
this week being epic fail, but there is going to be weeks where we're going to be doing epic moments.
As in the other end of the scale, like genuinely good shit.
Yes. And I've actually got 2 for this week. How about yourself?
Okay, that's cool. I may have one. I'm frantically working on the fly here. I don't know. I'm just going to riff off what you say and see what happens. But
my first one is Kevin Nash is in the ring. He's with Scott Hall, and there's a promo about to appear from the master of the powerbomb and ruler of the world, Sid Vicious.
To contextualise, we are talking about late 90s WCW here.
Yep, and you've got, Sid Vicious getting annoyed at Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash! Kevin Nash, what the hell are you doing here? But going through it, and all of a sudden he coins this line. Kevin Nash, you're half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do. Week after week, you make me look like a jackass.
Hold on, rewind. What? You just admitted to being half the intellect that he is, and you didn't spot the flaw in that. You absolute numpty.
And Kevin Nash and Scott Hall are legit
in the ring,
breaking,
trying not to wet themselves.
Oh no! They were legit. It was literally, you know how bad it was. If Botchamania, I'm pretty sure if Botchamania's covered this, you got Macho Man, basically him saying "send for the man."
Yeah,
because it was that bad.
That is a genuine Botchamania -5 stars. Classic moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case straight away you got Kevin Nash. I have you're half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do. Where was he trying to lead it?
What did he think he was going to get out of saying that? Who told him to? And oh my good Lord above.
And ladies and gentlemen, what makes it even more worse, and I'm not going to be covering this, the one I'm going to be mentioning, hinting at now, that's not only his only flub up on the mic.
Is this Sid we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, he has, in his latter career, made quite a habit of things like that. And, yeah, my God. Yeah. We're going to mention more of them in future weeks. Don't worry, we'll drip feed them. Nice and easy. But that is today's lighter moment of wrestling / what the fuck were they thinking moment of the week.
How about yourself? Anyone for you?
I'm just desperately trying to think.
You hinted at earlier, which was the Hulk Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah, the rematch, the WCW big money.
No, not that one. Not that one.
What? The oxygen deprivation one.
Triple H one. Triple H versus Ultimate Warrior, I believe you were covering earlier.
Oh, no, yeah, I mentioned the Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior WCW rematch and Jim Cornette's reaction to it. But yeah, I did also mention the Triple H versus the Ultimate Warrior moment where Triple H's first move in the match is a pedigree, and the Ultimate Warrior's first move in the match is to stand up and go, "Hello, did somebody call me?" As the match started. Oh, I'm going to beat you up now.
Yeah.
Literally. It is one of the most spectacular cases of no selling since that indie promotion about 10 years ago when that guy just literally channeled the Ultimate Warrior and no-sold a pile driver like he was getting slightly breathed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the ultimate suspension of disbelief killer. And frankly, I'm amazed Triple H's career recovered. I mean, we all know it did, but I'm not 100% sure how, having been reminded of that recently.
Through persevering and learning from what was meant to be ideally a punishment.
And marrying the boss's daughter. But
No. I'm sorry, but nope, not going down that road. That could be a topic for another week where we can actually disagree with each other, potentially.
Yeah, well, you know, disagreement is part of the spice of life and everything. That's all good. But yeah. Okay, do you have another one?
I have one more.
Go for it.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
The show ending as it has pretty much been all the way through on a farcical note.
This is the one I'm going to be mentioning, the one that Jim Cornette. I am looking forward to seeing Jim Cornette's reaction to it when he does see it, even though he doesn't watch AEW Dark.
Wow.
Because whoever's in the production company, I believe Jim Cornette's even going to be stating they need Kevin Dunn in there. It's that colossal.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. P45 for the production guy.
Because whoever came up with the idea of placing the camera at the time in Ray Phoenix match during the moment where he's doing forearm shots near the, on the edge of the ring on somebody was abysmal. They've got a side angle, a behind angle, the other side of the ring angle. They could have picked. No, what angle did they choose? Right in front in fucking full view. And Ray Phoenix is doing what's supposed meant to be elbows to his face, but instead clearly see that he's not actually hitting the guy, but bashing his own forearm, his own arm.
Are we talking here about the moment in Royal Rumble 2001? I believe it was 2001, where the Hardy Boys were fighting in an otherwise empty ring, and the cameraman chose the exact angle to show that Matt's dropkick on Jeff missed by 3 feet, but Jeff still sold it.
That's just a moment. This is Ray Phoenix continually to swing his arm, and someone thought it'd be a good idea to have a camera there where Ray Phoenix is just hitting his own arm. If Ray Phoenix even just looked up, he would have seen the fucking camera there.
Yes. But that's the thing. In both cases, it was like, really? There's so many camera angles, and you've literally managed to pick the worst possible one.
No, but what makes it even worse with this mistake is, and I kid you not, it looked like, he's the commentators are putting it over, it's like, he's viciously attacking him, he's being a savage, oh, the humanity. Basically, if you looked at it, it was just Ray Phoenix abusing his own arm. He was abusing his own arm.
Yes, which is as breathtakingly terrible as it sounds, so much so that it rendered me temporarily speechless there.
It was literally good, and he's tapping himself on the arm, but it looked awful. And it's still up on YouTube. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. That has absolutely rendered me into silence, and I think that's a good way to say thank you very much. That's the end of the main portion of this week's show. Matt Burns, do the plugs.
Pretty much. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for next week. Before we get on to it, we're going to be covering some predictions, I believe.
I believe we have to do both TakeOver 30 and SummerSlam, so I think they're going to be the bulk of next week's show.
That'll probably be the only major topic we'll be covering next week.
Yeah, plus obviously a epic or epic fail moment, but that'll be secondary. I think the predictions, like I said, will be 80% of it.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, just to point out, next week's episode will be pre-recorded.
Yes.
Due to a busy schedule.
Due to both of us just, having one of their pesky lives to deal with. In fact, we've got 2, one each. I know, aren't we lucky?
Pretty much. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the plugs. Let's just get straight to it. Please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out Tony Knox, Jessica Servo Photography, Kerry Swift Photography for all your photography needs. For videography, we recommend you check out BA Productions and SW Video. For charitable organisations, check out Changes for Health and Wellbeing, Changes Recovery Radio, Mind, Message for Mind, and Donna Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, and of course Cancer Research UK. For the light side of professional wrestling, we recommend you check out Botchamania, You're Welcome Matthew, Wrestle Crap.
Nice one, RD Reynolds.
And of course OSW Review, You're Welcome OSW Review, lads, especially with
Easy for you to say. Cheers, guys.
Definitely. And of course, we also recommend you check out, podcasts hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams, be it either, the Pull or Past radio show, Don't Say the C Word, or any of these other podcasts. Of course, we also recommend you check out We the Independent, that's with an IE and not a Y. We, of course, also recommend you check out Think Wrestling, which is hosted by none other than Tom Baker, who is...
Sorry, not the Fourth Doctor.
Not the Fourth Doctor.
Baker. Yes, I was miles away, and you absolutely caught me.
Yeah, I thought to catch off guard. We also recommend you check out Train Pop Culture. We, of course, also recommend you check out Hatred Theory. We, of course, also recommend you check out Kayfabe Music, as they do absolutely amazing music, and have also started doing entrance videos as well for low prices. We, of course, if you recall, last week, I stated change will be coming.
Change?
Did I not?
You did, yes.
Especially around Turnbuckle TV.
Oh, right. I was just going to say, yeah. This has been it from thanks for listening to me and the Burning Truth. I've been fired. Good night.
No.
Oh, wait,
that. No, because ladies and gentlemen, Turnbuckle TV is still going at the moment. The website's still up and is for how much?
I believe still $3.99 a month.
£1 a week. However, at this moment in time, it is currently revealed it is going through a dramatic change, and it's going to be changing from Turnbuckle TV to Powered for TV. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be interesting.
But their own.
What?
Not the name I'd have chosen, but whatever.
But they are still stating changes coming, and they've actually got some big plans ahead. Because at the moment in time, like we stated, at the moment Turnbuckle TV is currently at the moment, got loads of wrestling companies on there and building up, details. Powered for TV is big as well. We're getting new staff getting involved, new content being added all the time. But anything that's being added on, it's going to be on both of them. So they're going to be running side by side until the full change over, potentially, is what I think is going to be happening. But I highly recommend you check them out. It is Powered for TV on social media, with the website turnbuckletv.com. Turnbuckle TV is still standing at the moment in time, but it's hopefully going to be changing over to Powered for TV. So if you do want to check them out on social media, it's Powered for TV. Website is still Turnbuckle TV at the moment in time. But we highly recommend you check it out because change is coming.
And, not like in the WWE booking department just recently, change in a good way. More wrestling. More wrestling. Broadcasts. More content.
I can see this potentially becoming absolutely massive to the point there's going to be that much content on there. It's going to be overflowing.
Pretty much, you're literally not going to be able to move for a tidal wave of
basically
A, wrestling content, and B, thanks to the change and the expansion, more than just wrestling content.
Potentially. But let's just say this. I feel as though at some point that it's going to get that big, it's almost going to be almost impossible to complete it. That'll be interesting. But anyway, we of course would recommend you check out local wrestling promotions, be it the FCW, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, Future Shock Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Slam Wrestling, Wolf and Pro Wrestling, and many others. In case we've missed any or slipped up and not stated any of them, just understand that we do apologise. We don't know every local promotion in the world. But
However,
just in case, there's an app for it, none other than Babyface Wrestling app, which is absolutely free, where you can actually get all the information of them, and you can also follow wrestling companies and also follow wrestlers.
weekly plug. That includes Matt Burns, if you'd wish to give his ego a wee little boost.
And UKWA.
And UKWA, also known as United Kingdom Wrestling Alliance, also known as, the best wrestling company no one's ever heard of yet.
Excuse me? Some people have heard of it.
Yeah, not enough though. The point is, get it out there. Every time someone new watches it, we get a new fan. That's all I'm saying.
Yay! But anyway, we of course also recommend you check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. We do have to state on there, we've covered what's on there as much as possible. And I would state the external web links on there we cannot be held responsible for them, because we don't have any control of external sources.
We do not have control of the sources on, or indeed links on, external websites. No,
correct.
That's correct.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have our social media, which is we are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and check out our past episodes, as we are on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Deezer, and
more.
Other.
Potentially more in the future. We're almost at the stage now where we can say available wherever podcasts are. I was going to say sold then, but available, because we don't charge, because we're not good sports like that.
I think it is safe enough to state that now.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Well, no, not quite yet, because we're not on powered 5 turnbuckle TV yet. Well, I know UKWA is, but the Burning Truth isn't, is it?
Not yet, possibly.
No.
If we can work out the deal, who knows?
Fingers crossed we can be, and then we are literally available wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap up for this week, and for this week's mental health message, I am just going to state: be kind, be nice. There is going to always be hate in the world, but haters are going to hate. But make sure to take care of yourself, and if you can be anything, be one thing: be kind.
Exactly. In a world that is determined to mirror the WWE booking department and lose its mind, be more kind, my friends. Be more kind.
And of course, it is okay to be not okay, and asking for help isn't a weakness. And in doing so, you can end up finding out there's more care for you than you could ever know from either be family members, friends, and even complete strangers can end up shocking you. And of course, we also recommend you never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits. Tom Campbell, Cultaholic, which is where the quotes come from. And of course, we also state, make yourself a priority once in a while. It's not selfish, it's necessary.
Indeed. You can't always focus solely on everyone else in your life. A bit of me time is not a bad thing.
Correct. Could not have said that better myself.
And on that note,
I'm going to state this is going to be a wrap up for this week. The Burning Truth hopes you all stay well, stay safe. We'll catch you on the next episode, which will be next week, but it will be pre-recorded, so it will be out on 6 o'clock bang on time, hopefully. And with all that, we of course also recommend you check out all your local wrestling promotions on their social media, and also give a call out to any family members, friends, or anybody you haven't spoken to in a while, because the call can end up helping them out in a big, big way. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for listening to The Burning Truth. It has been emotional, and we will catch you next week.
Indeed,
until then,
ta-ta now. Bye-bye then.
Catch you later.